Hi and welcome to Outwell and to the Nevada MP from our premium collection. This is a medium-sized family tent that sleeps up to 5 people and it's tunnel design. With it being from our premium collection, you'll find that the fly sheet we're using on here is our Outex 6000. This is a good quality taffeta polyester, so it's going to be very durable and long lasting. It's been fully PU coated on the inside and also all of the seams are fully taped as well, to ensure of course that it's completely waterproof with a hydrostatic head of 6,000 millimeters. The frame that we use on here from front to back is made up of our Duratec fiberglass poles. Now these are very good quality fiberglass poles as they have a protective sheath around the outside of them to make sure that they're just that little bit stronger than standard black fiberglass poles that you may have seen elsewhere. What we also do is we colour code the poles to the sleeves just to ensure that when it comes to pitching the tent, it's nice and simple and you're not going to get the wrong pole in the wrong place. So to make the tent extra stable, what we've done here is used our wind stabilizer system. So I'll just show you how that works. When you're setting the tent up, all you have to do is simply wrap around these Velcro tabs around the pole and then use the secondary strap here just to hold it all in place. You'll then find that there's one at the top and at the bottom of all the poles around the tent, and this is where we have our guy lines attached. When we take the guy lines out and peg them into position, what that does is it pulls all of the material of the tent against the frame, making it much more taut and therefore much more stable. So what you will find with this is that we've tested this up to a force 9 gale on the Beaufort scale, so you can be pretty safe in the knowledge that even in bad weather conditions, whether it be wet or windy, you're going to be perfectly safe to use this tent. So moving on from there, I just want to then highlight a few other features. We have these reflective points all the way around the tent, so if you have a head torch or if you are just got a handheld torch during the night, then these are going to light up and you're going to be able to see that nice and clearly. We also use luminous guy lines all the way around the tent as well, so hopefully that should stop you tripping over them quite as easily when it's dark. Now each of these guy lines has its own retainer, so when it comes to packing the tent down, what we can do is just simply wrap up the guy lines in our hand and pop it into this little loop here so that the next time we come to use the tent, these are easily accessible. We also give you our easy pegging system with the Nevada MP, so that's where we supply you with 3 different styles of peg, which I have handily stowed away here. So we have the steel pegs here, which are your anchor pegs for the corners of the tent, and they would go into the grey pegging points. We have the black plastic peg for all of the black pegging points around the side of the tent, and we also have the luminous peg here, obviously to go with the luminous guy line. So in the name there, the easy pegging system, making it nice and easy for you to make sure that you get the right peg in the right place. So a nice feature on the Nevada MP is this rain safe entrance on the side here. So this obviously just gives you good shelter over the side entrance so that if it's a little bit drizzly or a little bit wet, then this would probably be the entrance that I would recommend using. So something else I just want to talk about is the name of this tent. So it's called the Nevada MP. Now the P doesn't stand for premium, although the tent is from the premium collection. The P actually stands for panoramic because this front of this tent is rounded, and what we have is on every single panel we have large windows giving you panoramic views from within the tent. The windows themselves are also tinted, so these have 2 key functions. One is to reduce the amount of glare from the sun inside the tent, and second is obviously to give you that little bit more privacy. The front door is a good size to the tent. It's nice and wide to be able to let you get all of your kit in and out of the tent. It's also a good height as well, so it is definitely a full walk-in height. I'm quite tall and I certainly don't have to duck down low to get into the tent. Something else I just want to highlight here is that we do have 2 separate doors here. So you see we have the grey waterproof door just rolled up at the moment, but then behind that, just hanging down here, we have a full mesh door as well, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail shortly. What I do want to just talk about though is when this waterproof door is down, I want to show you the detail that we go into to make sure that you're going to stay dry in the tent. So when the door is rolled down, obviously it's going to cover these zips here, and you can just see that we've got the Velcro tabs running along here to keep it in place, and obviously it gets zipped closed. Now what we then have is this luminous piping, which isn't just about design, it also has a function of keeping the water away from this zipper here. If the water does get through this zip, then there's then another piece of material behind that here, which you can see again has another channel just to take the water down and away from this inside zip. But then what we also do is we tape the inside of this zip as well, just to make sure that we are paying a lot of attention to the detail of keeping you dry. So coming into the tent, I think what's quite obvious, or hopefully what should be quite obvious, is just how much space there is in here. Certainly plenty of head height. I mentioned there that I was quite tall. I'm about 6'3" and I can stand up in here no problem whatsoever. Certainly plenty of space around us as well. You can see that we've got a good sized table and some furniture in here, and there is plenty more room as well. So the ground sheet that we use in here, from front to back and side to side, is fully sealed. It's also bathtub in style, so if we just zoom down here, you'll see that it's coming up quite substantially at the edges. That's going to stop any drafts from coming in. It's also going to stop any sort of dirt or sand or dust sort of being blown into the tent, and hopefully, more importantly, it will keep out those unwanted creepy crawlies as well. It is, of course, fully waterproof with a hydrostatic head of 10,000 millimeters. So another few features just to point out, just above me here we have this support bar in the middle of the tent. So I mentioned earlier on that the tent is quite stable, and this definitely adds to that. So again, on the front door there I mentioned about the mesh doors, but what I just want to highlight is every single door, of which there are 3, has its own mesh door. So in terms of ventilation, all we have to do is roll up the outside door, and you've got these great big mesh doors on all 3 sides, so you've got ventilation well covered here. Something else I want to just point out, which you won't really be able to see from the angle unfortunately here, is we have a lantern hanging point at the top of the tent, but then running down and away from that, down to the ground, we have a cable entry point just down by the door here. There is actually one on both sides of the tent, but what that allows you to do is just run your electrics into the tent without having to open up either the mesh door or the waterproof door on the outside. Something else to highlight here is that all these windows that I mentioned earlier on all have their own curtains, and these are zip curtains. So if I just move this chair out the way here, what we will see is that we just have them toggled away at the bottom here at the moment, but all we have to do is just take them out, and then obviously we can choose exactly how much light or how much privacy we're getting within the tent. At the back is where you'll find the bedrooms, and as I mentioned earlier on, the tent can sleep up to 5 people. Something that I think is a really nice feature here actually is that you don't have to put these bedrooms in. They're already done for you. They're pre-attached, so the first time that you come to pitch the tent, these are already here. How we attach them to the fly sheet is using our wave-shaped hanging point system. Now, it's not just there for design, it also has a great function of taking any stress point off of this seam across the top of the bedrooms. Some other features to highlight then, we have some handy storage pockets on the outside. The doors have mesh panels on here as well, which have curtains on the reverse side of them, so if you do want a little bit of privacy, then you've got that here. Inside the bedrooms there's plenty to talk about too. Across the back we have a large mesh ventilation panel which corresponds to outside panels that you can open up. The ceiling is a night sky ceiling, so you can see that it's a much darker material, hopefully keeping that bright sunshine out first thing in the morning. Down in the corner here we have some handy storage pockets which are ideal for smaller possessions. And we also have this low light window in the bedroom here, allowing you access to the views outside without having to leave the comfort of your bed. The bedrooms are separated with this full zipped sheet here, so you can obviously split them as we have done here, and this is a 3-person and a 2-person, or of course you can zip this fully open to create one large bedroom. If you want a little bit more living space within the tent, then that's easy to do thanks to our universal bedrooms. So we can actually take this half down here, and we'll show you now how that works. So to finish off, I'd like to just take you through all the optional extras that we have available for the tent. There are 2 different types of carpet for in here. There's a fleece carpet or there's a 3-layer insulated carpet. We also have a footprint available for under the tent, so you can pitch your tent on top of that so that when you take it down, your ground sheet's going to be clean and dry. We also have a front extension available. We have a front awning also for this tent, and of course we have our roof protector as well. So that's all of the features and the optional extras for our Nevada MP from our premium collection. Thanks very much for watching.